Hey there, I'm Svetlabaeva, and welcome to the session on the resource mobilization strategy. For it, we'll be going over what resource mobilization is and how to build your strategy. So what is it? Resource mobilization is not only about funding, it is way more than that. It refers to the process of acquiring and managing various types of resources, including financial, human, material, and intellectual resources, to support the goals and activities of an organization or a concrete initiative. In this case, we'll be talking about your crowdfunding project. The process of mobilizing resources involves first identifying, then securing, and effectively utilizing resources for your campaign to achieve the desired outcomes. But let's take a deeper look at each of the categories. Financial resources are key for a crowdfunding or fundraising campaign. To support your campaign, you will be looking for cash donations from individual givers. At least that's what we've been talking about mostly in the previous modules. But during your crowdfunding campaign, it is important to think about how you can tap into the support from corporations, foundations, or governments for cash donations, as well as grants and sponsorships. Financial resources include cash donations from individuals or corporations, foundations, or governments. It also includes grants provided by grant-making organizations or government agencies for specific projects or initiatives, as well as sponsorships from businesses, organizations, in exchange for promotional benefits or brand exposure. Material resources are another important category. These include in-kind donations such as contributions of goods, products, or tangible assets instead of cash, such as equipment, supplies, or food. This is particularly relevant when it comes to humanitarian fundraising. Another type of material resource are facilities, such as access to physical spaces for conducting activities, events, or programs. Technology is another in-kind donation. That is the donation or access to technology infrastructure, software, or hardware to support initiatives. And finally, transportation, the provision of vehicles or logistical support for transportation purposes. Intellectual resources are the third category. This includes expertise and knowledge, such as access to subject matter experts and consultants or advisors who provide specialized knowledge and guidance. This can be particularly important for project implementation. Intellectual resources also include research and data, such as collection and analysis of information, data, or research findings to inform program development. It can also include intellectual property, such as the licensing or sharing of intellectual property rights, such as patents, copyrights, or trademarks for mutual benefit or collaboration. And finally, it definitely does include networks and partnerships, which is the collaboration with other organizations, institutions, or stakeholders to leverage collective expertise and resources for shared goals. So the final major category we'll be covering are human resources. The first is volunteering, so the contributions of time, skills, and expertise from individuals who offer their services without financial compensation. Pro bono services, such as professional services provided by volunteers or organizations at no cost to support nonprofit initiatives or social causes. You might find that an advertising agency or PR firm would be happy to work with your organization to develop a pro bono campaign. And finally, staffing, recruitment and deployment of paid employees to carry out organizational activities and programs in support of the campaign project. The next step is to create a holistic resource mobilization strategy. The best approach is to embed your crowdfunding campaign as part of your wider resource mobilization strategy, which may include other fundraising activities, sponsorships, in-kind donations, access to facilities, whatever makes sense for your crowdfunding campaign and larger initiative project. Successful fundraising campaigns work on leveraging a mix of strategies to maximize impact and reach diverse donor segments. The first step to creating a strategy is to clearly articulate your needs. Outline the specific resources needed for your campaign or project, such as in-kind support or technical knowledge for setting up solar water pumps, for example. This will help you think about who else you might be able to engage beyond individual donors. The next step after this is to identify and map your resources. Identify potential sources and break them down into the 4 categories we discussed: financial, human, material, and intellectual resources. For example, the private sector can support you with funding, but also with access to physical spaces or other in-kind support, as well as knowledge support in implementing your project. This will help you assess the various resources available to you, as well as potential gaps or areas for improvement. Take a look at the table. You can map out different potential partners in any of the key categories. Categorize them based on the level of interest, capacity to support, and your relationships or previous experience with them. Collect their contact information and start developing an approach strategy with a clear timeline. Once you've identified potential resources and potential partnerships, the next step is to create tailored partnership proposals, outlining the benefits of contributing funding or in-kind resources such as brand exposure or facilities. Proposals should be well designed to stand out. Highlight how contributions will directly support the success of the campaign and contribute to its overall impact. Then reach out to the businesses and corporations and individuals and other partners you've identified who may be willing to donate funds, goods, services, or expertise to support your campaign. Also consider partnering with companies or organizations that align with your cause or campaign objectives. Make sure to provide recognition and incentives to funding and in-kind contributors, such as logo placement on promotional materials, acknowledgement in press releases or social media posts, or VIP access to campaign events. Also showcase the generosity of contributors and the value of their contributions to inspire others to support the campaign. Finally, remember to cultivate relationships with potential partners through personalized outreach, networking events, and follow-up communication. Tap into your existing networks of supporters and stakeholders to identify potential other partners and facilitate these introductions. And now to end the session with an example with UNDP Turkey's Save the Legacy campaign. Save the Legacy is UNDP's campaign to restore the cultural heritage destroyed in the earthquakes of February 2023. It is collecting funds to rebuild the historical treasures and traditions that symbolize the region's rich cultural diversity. In addition to individual donations, the campaign is also seeking large-scale contributions from donors in the private sector as part of its resource mobilization strategy. For example, the governments of Bulgaria, Greece, and Romania have already signed on to support the campaign as anchor partners. And to date, more than $4 million have been committed to support the effort and sets an example for all other donors. In addition, the Meta Foundation will promote the campaign via its digital platforms and has offered the use of augmented reality technologies to visualize southern Turkey's cultural heritage. Thank you so much and see you in the next session.